Hey, welcome back in today's video. Initially I wasn't going to record a video today, just woke up, got my coffee. We're going to be talking about YouTuber Jake Paul. There's been some accusations that came out that are very serious. I wanted to take them as serious as they are. A girl has came out on YouTube. She's told her story that Jake Paul has forcefully made her do some things. So if you're sensitive to SA and things of that nature, you may want to click off of this video. That being said, if you're unfamiliar, Jake Paul is an American YouTuber, internet personality, actor, rapper, and professional boxer. You guys may have seen him knock out Nate Robinson. He's beaten Deji, and now he's looking to box Ben Askren. But that's not what this video is about. A very small YouTuber by the name of Justine Paradise, just over 8,000 subscribers, has dropped a video. Warning: Jake Paul sexually assaulted me. Justine also has a TikTok with over 500,000 followers, 7.7 million likes. Now, before we get into this video, I do want to give a shout out to the Rep Squad, my community, my beautiful community. We've currently raised over $3,000 for RAIN. The National Sexual Hotline is 800-656-HOPE. It's free and confidential 24/7, and we have a goal of 10,000. So if you too want to help me help people, the fundraiser is going to be to the right if you're on desktop, or right below if you're on mobile. All you gotta do is click donate. If you don't have very much, just click other and $1. And if you have a YouTube account, your credentials and everything is already hooked up. So all you gotta do is just press the button. Let's get into the video. Now, I don't know if her name is Justin or Justine. I'm going to go with Justine for this video, but if I am wrong about that pronunciation, I do apologize for that. The video was released April 9th, 2021, and she states several times that she's very scared to do this and to please be gentle. And there's a lot of comments, people commenting in the comment section, very clearly fans of Jake Paul that have no understanding of what it means for a survivor to come out with their story. I suggest that these people educate themselves. As you can see, she states here, please watch the full video before commenting. This is what happened. I show as much proof as I can throughout the video, and more proof pictures at the end of the video. Now we're going to go over important highlights from this video that explain across to you exactly what this situation is. But if you want to see this video in its entirety, it will be in the pinned comment, and I highly suggest that you do. One of the craziest things that I see about this is that if you go put in Jake Paul on Google, you look at the news, this isn't being covered at all. The only thing that's being covered is the big boxing match that's coming up, and it's clear that the priority to the news media is this huge fight, and I think that's wrong, and that's why I decided to cover this video. I did find one article by Dextro. On March 31st, Paradise posted a TikTok claiming that she had been assaulted while signing an NDA, that's a non-disclosure agreement, at a famous YouTuber's house that has since racked up more than 1 million views and climbing. This is that TikTok. Now, we've seen in the past characters like Onision and others who will get people to sign NDAs as an attempt to scare them from talking about bad things that happen. And I think this goes without saying that if you are a victim of SA, any form of criminal activity, then you can speak on that. You can go right to the authorities. That NDA is not going to hold up in a court of law. And I want to encourage anybody else that has any other stories about Jake Paul or any other big influencer to come out if they feel comfortable doing so, to share their story. Justine opens up in her video saying this.
I feel really kind of awkward right now because I think about this a lot. I think about it every single day, but I've never said anything about it because a couple different reasons. One, I don't want to ruin someone's career for something that they did. Is it like I feel guilty.
This is a very common thing in situations like this where the person will feel guilty for ruining the person that did the actual act's life. I want to say that you are in no way doing anything to them. They are doing it to themselves.
This happened last year. I haven't said anything. That's why I was too embarrassed. I was too feeling guilty, even though it's not my fault. I guess I should start by saying how I knew him.
She goes into detail explaining how the situation even came about, how she first was introduced to him through mutual friends that were going to his mansion house when it was Team 10, and she had no idea where she was going until she got there.
I texted Michael and I was like, hey, what are you doing? It's been a while, let's hang out. And he was like, yeah, I'm down, come to the studio tonight. And I was like, bet. With Becca, we drove over to the address to the studio. What do you know, when we get to the studio, it's the whole Team 10 house. I felt intimidated. I didn't know that the studio that I was going to be pulling up to was like famous people's.
One of the most peculiar things about this situation, I think, is how she describes that his sheer awkwardness, how he was just very strange in social interactions. And, you know, I'm not saying that he's a sociopath or anything. I'm not saying that I can't diagnose people, disclaimer. I'm just saying it brings me back to that Shane Dawson documentary where, you know.
Now, today's episode, I sit down with therapist Katie Morton to talk about the psychology of Jake Paul.
Also important to point out, it seems like Shane Dawson is involved in every terrible person on YouTube's, like, story. He's got some involvement somewhere. Most recently, we've been talking about the Destry Smith accusations. We've been covering that in depth. He is even involved in that. He's even involved in the Eugenia Cooney story. He's involved in so many. But I think that it is important to point out that how she explains this weird behavior. This is what she says.
He was really awkward. I don't know if it was just me or if he's like this with everyone. I mean, I don't think he's like this with everyone. I don't know. But he was really awkward when he was talking to me.
Now, I have talked to somebody in the past who was directly involved with a Jake Paul situation, and she explained that he also had weird, very awkward tendencies. Justine goes on to describe it as that of a middle schooler.
To me, it reminded me of like middle school. Because he would text me even if I was like in the same room as him. I can put up the text here.
Let's pause for a second and read this. He says, "How are you?" She says, "Why are you texting me when I'm in your house?" And then on another occasion, "Also, you have to speak to me and not text me from across the room." That is a little bit weird. I'd like to know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. Also, let's spam some positivity turtles in the chat for Justine.
He would ask me to come over. I would. And then when I was there, he wouldn't talk to me like to my face. He would say hi to me and then he would go do other stuff. And he would be texting me. And to me, it felt like, you know, have you ever been in like middle school and you're with your crush but you're too afraid to tell them that you like them, so you text them, and it's really awkward, but it's middle school, so it makes sense to be that awkward and weird. That's what it reminded me of. He would be like, hey, where are you? I'm like, I'm downstairs or whatever, like I'll come up, and then he would still text me even though I'm in the same room, and I just felt uncomfortable. Because why can't you just talk to my face if I'm here?
That is really awkward, but it reminds me of some things. You know, we've been covering the dark psychology of different YouTubers and things like that, and it does stick out to me. I found a really good article by Karen Young on the HeySigmund.com website called Toxic People, 12 Things They Do and How to Deal with Them. I'm also going to put this in the pinned comment for you guys. Toxic trait number 7, they'll leave a conversation unfinished and they'll go offline. It says they won't pick up their phone. They won't answer texts or emails, and in between rounds of their voicemail message, you might find yourself playing the conversation or argument over and over in your head, guessing about the status of the relationship, wondering what you've done to upset them, or whether they're alive or dead or ignoring you. In my opinion, I do believe Jake Paul did this sort of like texting in the same room and different things like that as a form of control or just to keep the other person guessing because he couldn't be responsible for his own feelings, which is a toxic trait number 3 on this. People that don't own their own feelings. The article goes on to say that people who care about you won't let you go on feeling rubbish without attempting to sort it out. That doesn't mean you'll sort it out, of course, but at least they'll try. Take it as a sign of their investment in the relationship if they leave you out there for lengthy sessions. So I could see that Jake Paul had no investment into this person as a person.
And I just felt uncomfortable because why can't you just talk to my face if I'm here? But I just figured he had bad social skills. Like, I didn't know anything about him before, but after I met him, I kind of like looked him up a little bit, and I guess he's been famous for like a long time. So I'm just assuming he always got what he wanted and never had to build like social skills and talking to people. Like, girls basically just like throw themselves at him.
She also goes on to surmise that Jake Paul being famous for the entirety of his life makes him possibly not have great social skills, and I feel like I can kind of agree with that. She says that she saw girls throw themselves at him, and he had multiple different girls in his room every night, and it kind of worries me what these other girls experienced and went through with somebody that had challenged skills like this socially.
Like, girls were just throwing themselves at him, and he would go to his room with a different girl, like multiple different girls every day. Like, that's just what happened.
Now, the next part that we're about to talk about is moving towards into the actual SA. And so if you guys are uncomfortable, this is where the warning starts. So click off of it if you do not want to hear about this. I'll put a timestamp here that fast forwards ahead of that so you guys can continue to watch the video.
Jake like pulled me into this little corner area in the studio and started kissing me. And I was fine with that. I did think he was cute. I did want to kiss him. That is fine. That wasn't the issue that he kissed me there. It was weird because the place that he kissed me was like in front of everyone. So it kind of felt like he was showing off to his friends that he was making out with me. That was a little weird.
So it seems like it's starting off consensual, though a little bit awkward. He didn't actually ask her for a kiss. He didn't lead up to it. He very much was awkward throughout the whole interaction, so she probably didn't expect this at all, and then displays it publicly like there was more to their relationship, and then it goes 0 to 100.
Grabs my hand and he starts walking with me, and I thought it was cute. He was just like talking to me, being nice and whatever, so I was walking with him, and he brings me to his room. People have brought me to their room before, and I'm their friend, and they're literally just trying to show me their room, or they just want to talk to me away from the crowd of people, or sometimes they are like trying to do something simple, but if I say no, they respect it, you know? So I didn't have an issue with following him to wherever he was bringing me in his house.
So it seems like this on and off play, like I said, they did hang out periodically. I think she went over to his house like 6 times, so there was a bit of a trust built up there, at least in her mind. And though the interactions were awkward, it seemed like she was trying to make excuses, like if he must be awkward. Like if I had to find a reason, this is why he was probably awkward, and he was trying to make excuses for him. So it was, she didn't expect for what actually happened to actually happen. But I want to go back to this article for a second. Toxic trait number 1, they'll keep you guessing about which version of them you're getting. They'll be completely lovely one day, and the next you'll be wondering what you've done to upset them. There often isn't anything obvious that will explain the change of attitude. You just know something isn't right. When this happens, you might find yourself making excuses for them or doing anything you can to make them happy. See why it works for them. So in this case, we can see just from what she said that she was confused in this way. Obviously, the conversations left her feeling like something was wrong, and that I believe that's why she was attempting to make excuses for him.
We were like kissing and stuff, and then he like took it to his bed. Normally, everybody respects me when I don't want to do sexual things, so I thought that it was fine if I went in his room, and I thought it would be fine to kiss him because I thought he would stop if I didn't want to do anything else. Like, that's normal, that's what you do. So anyway, we were on his bed kissing for a bit, And then every time he would like try to put my hand places or like try to put his hands places that I didn't want, I would just kind of move it away and be like, no, and then like, you know, just kiss, just back to kissing. And then at one point he said, if nothing is going to happen, then what's the point?
So this is also a very manipulative and toxic thing for him to do. He's like trying to place blame on her, making it her fault for not wanting to kiss him. Ladies, this isn't the way things work, and if you're ever in a situation like this, run away. I hate that Justine had to go through something like this. I hate to hear this story.
Ever have I rejected someone's touches and they said, well, if nothing's gonna happen, what's the point? Like, what? But that is what he said, word for word. I thought that was weird. That made me uncomfortable. And then he gets up. He doesn't go away. This is the point where if what he wanted is sex, he sees he's not gonna get it. This is the point where we would just go elsewhere. You know, go back downstairs where everyone is. Go back to the studio. Like, he could even tell me to leave if he wanted to. But that is not what he did. When he got up, he undid his pants and grabbed my face and started fucking my face. I would like to say that I have only given oral sex to like 2 or 3 people before this. But when it's going in your mouth, that's touch, that's taste, that's smell, that's like, it's all in your face, you know? What am I supposed to do? He was literally, I was still laying down, he was on top of me and like holding my head like into him. Like I couldn't even tell him not to. He didn't ask for consent or anything. Like, he knew I didn't want to do anything with him because he said, if nothing's gonna happen, what's the point? And then he just shoves himself in me. That's not okay. On no level at all is that okay. It didn't last that long though, because he finished, he came, he did that, I couldn't go anywhere because he was literally grabbing my head and shoving himself in me. At that point, I was really confused and like, what the heck just happened? Why did that happen? I was like, what the heck? So I just like kind of rolled over on his bed and I'm like, what the heck?
After this interaction happened and she was confused about it, she goes on to say that he immediately switched emotions where leading up to that, he had been ambiguous and more on the nice side. He was just very pushy, mean, aggressive.
Yeah, alright, let's go back to the stew. And I was like, okay, let me just like fix my hair and makeup first because it was all messed up. And I went to his bathroom that's connected to his room. I was trying to and he's like, no, let's go. And I'm like, why would you essentially assume me and then not even let me like fix my hair and makeup? Like, I don't want to leave your room looking like this. I didn't want to be looking like that at all. Like, that's embarrassing to have like my makeup all like going down and like my hair all messed up. It's obvious that things happen. I don't know. So I'm like, no, I'm going to fix this. And then like I just like fixed my hair and makeup as fast as I could. Picks up my phone. He was like, come on, let's leave, get your dinosaur phone and let's go. And I was just like, wait a second. Because up until this point, he had been nice to me. He had been sweet to me, even though he was a little socially awkward and sometimes just like texting me instead of talking to me when I was right there. When he was talking to me, it was nice and sweet. So this complete 180 and like being sexually assaulting me, being just like straight up rude.
Fast forward to the end of the video, she actually shows more screenshots. She took a Snapchat while she was still there, and you can see the location was in Calabasas, and her face was puffy from crying. She said she was invited back over by other people who lived there. She said she wanted to talk to him about what happened, but he didn't respond anymore after the incident. Now, this is also a very common thing. People want closure. They want to ask, why did this happen? They want to maybe, they feel like maybe it didn't happen in the way it happened in their head, and they want to like get like just, they want to figure it out. That's a very common thing.
He didn't give me a response or anything. You might be wondering like why I would want to hang out with someone who did that to me, and that is because I wanted to talk to him about how that made me feel. Because somewhere in my brain I was thinking, what if he didn't do this to me on purpose? What if he didn't know how this made me feel? Like, What if he just does this to everyone because he's so socially awkward and thinks that this is what they want? I just wanted to talk to him and tell him, hey, I didn't consent for this. It made me feel so awful. I've literally only done this with like 3 people in my whole life because it's so special to me and you just took that from me. But I couldn't tell him because he never responded. Honestly, I don't think it was anything significant to him. Like I said, there was a different girl with him every day. I don't even know if he would remember me. This is what I looked like at the time, Jake. Like, I met you when I looked like this, and that was wrong, and I would have liked an apology.
So Justine wants an apology from Jake. I'd like to hear a response from Jake, and I'd like there to be some sort of investigation. I hate hearing stuff like this, and I hate hearing about how these YouTubers do this. This needs to be covered more widely in social media right now, and that's why I'm making this video right now. So if you guys could do me a favor and share this video out, put a like on it, comment below for engagement, because that helps the algorithm know that the video is something that needs to be spread around. I hate to see stuff like this. Also consider donating to RAIN so we can help survivors in situations like this. Another thing that really upsets me is some of the comments in the comment section underneath her video. It's clear it's coming from people who don't understand the dynamics of what it means to be in her type of position, to have experienced something like that. And if you haven't experienced anything like that, if you haven't gone through that and you don't know what the pain that's involved with that, or have talked with anybody that's been through something like that, shut up, don't say nothing. They caused her to have to come out on TikTok to explain herself. I don't feel like she should have ever been in a position to where she had to say anything like that. I wish society was more accommodating to people's emotions when it comes to severe things, severely traumatic things like this. Because you know good and well, if the people in the comment section had a loved one that it had gone through something like this and it had impacted them personally, they wouldn't be saying things like that. So I think that they need to be properly educated.
Hello, I am not falsely accusing anyone for clout. I've kept this to myself for a long time, so making the decision to share it publicly is terrifying because I know I'm going to have a lot of attention on it. And I know a lot of that attention is going to be hate, and I don't want to deal with all the hate that I'm going to get for like something bad that happened to me. But also I know it is necessary to share this information with everybody, so it could maybe like save someone that would be in my position in the future. I haven't shared this YouTube video previously with all the information in it because like it's scary to share. So I've been kind of mentally prepping myself, and also some like big reporters said it's in my best interest to wait, and since I've never shared anything like this and I assumed they had more like knowledge than me, I decided to like go with that. But I think that's wrong. I think it's just in their best interest for me to wait.
So I appreciate Justine for sharing her story. These stories that are shared always are helpful, powerful, and help other people to not be in situations like that, and empower other people to come forward, because it's usually not just one person that's been through this situation. So good job, Justine. That being said, as interesting as this is, always something that's more interesting to me. That's right, you guessed it. I want to know what you think. So why don't you go ahead and leave your creative and interesting responses in the comment box below. Thumbs up for those likes. As always, brothers and sisters, I will see you in the next video. I brought back Fluffy the pen. I don't know. This was my Easter present. The pen made me feel a little bit better when I was talking about stuff like this. Hope it made you feel a little bit better too. I hate hearing stuff like this. It makes me very, very angry. So let's get some positivity turtles in the chat. And I feel really bad for Justine having to go through stuff like this. On another note, I'm still working with the new microphone, trying to figure it out and everything. So once I do figure it out, it will be the main microphone. For now, I'm using this. I have the cloud lifter and everything that goes with it, but it's got a little bit of a learning curve. But oh, and don't forget, we are going to release the Repzilla team jerseys, Rep Squad team jerseys, because every good team needs a team jersey. Now this is going to be awesome. I already have the first couple orders completely sold out, but you can help me out. I'm going to put a form in the pinned comment where you can tell me your email and the size that you will need, so I can know how many I'm going to order on the next shipment, and we'll get that to you. I hope you guys had a good recent Easter. And it's just another show that you're repping. If you're not repping, you're Greg. How you do that? Go to subscribe, notifications turned on. Be in the comment section of every single video, because I'm going to be there. Greg the Cat's going to be there, and the rest of the Rep Squad community as well. And I expect to see you there too, because this channel loves you.